So today for me is bittersweet because on the one hand, I introduce you to this software, Serato, and that signifies that you guys all prove to me that you're worthy of making that jump from vinyl to the digital DJing. And I'm very, very, very stoked and proud that we've reached this day as a class. I was fucking watching the JMJ challenges over the spring break, and everybody just fucking did their best and performed their heart outs. Even the students that struggled a little, like, it was just dope for me to see you apply everything the way I taught you. Whether it was like flawless and you did a great job and you won a prize, or whether you struggled but came up here and made the most of the experience of backing Avatar, DMT, and Lex Rush. Super proud of everyone. And now you could say, man, that you, whether you're fucking like super, super good at this or not, like you have gone through the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the rite of passage, the DJ rite of passage, you know what I mean? And you did it with vinyl for 2 months, and here we are today about to do it on a laptop. But before I actually get you guys on hands with the Serato DJ software, it's important, you know me, I'm all about context. So it's important for me to explain to you guys why I am the way I am with regards to DJing, and why I wanted you guys to read the article that I wrote and watch the lecture that I gave at Indiana University. It's not enough for me to be like, there are fake DJs, there are people that do this in a way that's yeah, right, that deceive you, literally, Rylan. It's not enough for me to do that. I now comes the point where I give you guys physical examples of what I've been talking about. What I want us to watch first is this EDM DJ. There's a video someone posted on Facebook, and we're gonna watch this as a class. This is what's happening. Let me explain this to you. We have two DJs. One of them is sitting down playing music. The other DJ is standing up, miming the movements a DJ would make if they were actually playing music. All right? So this guy here is basically doing all the work. Okay, and then we have a DJ standing, going through the motions. So let's just watch. So if you guys look at her program, the virtual decks that I'm pointing out here with the cursor are not engaged. They're not on. His virtual decks are. So he's rocking a CDJ. People there. There's his other CDJ. Right?
The song changes. She wasn't stood up. Like.
1 second. And that's, you see the virtual deck is actually engaged for his equipment.
Like, that's like the sad that he agreed to do that. Even though again, he's probably getting paid for it, I think. But like, that's just sad. Like,
it is sad. Like, so here's yes, Liv.
Why would they choose to pay 2 people to DJ when they could just hire 1 person?
Now I don't know. They're probably paying both of them the price that they. I don't know. Look, I can't. I'm not going to begin to speculate what their pay is. What I will say is, nowadays, female DJs are trending. So venues, like, for whatever reason, just want to put a pretty female in front of the decks dressed to the nines even if she doesn't know what she's doing. I guess they feel that engages people more, or
It brings sex appeal.
it brings sex appeal, exactly. So they'll sacrifice the artistry. A promoter, a venue will sacrifice the artistry of DJing for the sake of getting more people to come out.
So venues have budgets for hosts, so I feel like what they are probably doing is like to get the look of like a female DJ who probably has some sort of social media following, is that they're dipping into like a hosting budget and they're paying her as if she were a host but she's DJing.
Right.
So that she can be like on the flyer and like the head of the event.
Yeah. That's sort of what Paris Hilton does.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Remember she was
She
saying,
just hosts parties.
yeah, like she goes, she promotes the hell out of the party. She takes selfies with everyone. That's basically what
Yeah.
Paris does. All right. Now that's just one example. Let's just move on from this example here. This is a classic video of David Guetta. Let's watch it. So you can see, guys, this is an example of what CDJs and a mixer looks like with it turned on. And here's an example of what the equipment looks like with it turned off. All right? So as you can see,
There's no lights.
there are no lights. But for whatever reason, our boy David Guetta feels the need to hover over the CDJ with his hand as if he were hand placement is perfect, literally at 9 o'clock, right? But why, if the CDJ is off? Like, why would you do that?
You need to look like you're doing it, otherwise you're going to be like, he's not actually DJing, why am I here to see that
Exactly.
DJ when he's not doing it?
Exactly. Yes.
Has he come out and like said anything about this? Because obviously this is a famous video.
No.
Like,
No, he hasn't.
that's really sad.
He hasn't. It is sad. It is sad. And look at these people. They're like super into it. They're happy to see him. They're engaged. They're like, fuck, I'm here. That's David Guetta, my favorite producer, and he's not even doing shit. Like, totally deceiving the audience.
Because that's what it is. Like, he's a producer. Like, I don't think of him as a DJ. So it's like interesting that like as the audience, like they want to see David Guetta. So like he would fake this role of being a DJ to please the crowd, as opposed to like having someone who's a professional DJ play his produced music.
Yeah. Or,
So it's like a different audience.
or learn how to DJ.
Yeah.
Like you guys did.
He has enough money to learn. I'm pretty
Totally.
sure, so it's like, what?
Totally. And it's like, he's also not just doing it to be in front of people, but he's doing it because he gets 6 figures
Yeah.
for like an hour set.
That's not.
And it's just disrespectful because he's not even DJing. All right, so let's just move on. This is DJ Lady Style. So let's just watch her, guys. I want you to pay close attention to what you're seeing. Try not to be distracted by her antics on the turntables and really look at her hands, specifically her record hand and her fader hand. And listen, okay? Here we go. you guys think about what you saw?
It looked pretty dope, but it didn't.
And fader was open half of the time.
Like what?
And she was scratching at times when there wasn't scratching.
Yeah,
Her
and
hand was going
when
too
it
fast.
sounded like a stab, it was like a baby and stuff like that. Like I
Well, that yes, but the
it's
point,
like mismatched.
it's mismatched for sure. Like if you're a beginner, you might watch this video and it'll go over your head and you'll think, whoa, that was fucking dope.
It looks dope
'Cause
even
her
like just
technique
looking
looks
at it.
great.
But
Yeah, that's what I said.
Her technique is on. What did you say, Lynn?
No, that like I as a DJ who knows this stuff, like I still thought it looked
Right, right,
Yeah.
and sounded dope, right?
Like her fingernails.
Ellie and Alex fucking nailed it. Kate, remember during the Jam Master J challenge when you inadvertently hit the fader and it pops open? What happens? Huh?
Plays both sides.
It plays both sides, right?
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's alright. But see, that mistake, it's important. It's important that you made that mistake because when we watch this video, the fader pops open.
She has to like close it again before she starts again, which just shows that it wasn't shut.
Right, exactly. Let's rewind. Let's rewind and watch this.
It's at the beginning, it's the worst thing.
What gave it away for me was the buttons in the beginning.
Well, no, I mean a lot of DJs hit buttons.
It just already turns you off.
Yeah,
once you
but a
see
lot
it.
of DJs hit buttons that like do shit for real.
But it was the sequence of the song. She was
Mhm.
hitting the song, and when it was about to go into like the hook,
Mhm.
she hit the first button again, which is the start of the song. So it should have brought her to the start of the song.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I wasn't really looking at that because, like you said, Liv, when DJs start hitting the buttons, I already tune out. I'm like, all right, what's coming next?
Yeah.
What am I gonna see? So I didn't notice that. But let's go to 104 on this video, and let me just. So look, guys. She's gonna be scratching, right? So this is her right hand is the fader hand, her left hand is the record hand. And each of you, not just Kate, each of you have experienced this. I have, okay? You're doing something and inadvertently, like you just put too much pressure or you smack the fader closed and it pops open a smidget. And as Kate said, when that happens, you hear both sides. She goes to smack the fader closed with her thumb, and then you're gonna see the fader pops out again, but she's moving her record hand. So if that happens, what are you supposed to hear?
Both sides.
Both sides. You're supposed to hear a baby scratch. She's moving the record hand back and forth. Watch. Actually, let's slow it down. Liv, the way we did.
Yeah,
It's cold and
speed.
yeah. Is that just
Do you want my scarf?
no? It's okay, thank you.
All right, guys, check it out. I'm just gonna slow it down on purpose. Did you catch
I
it?
saw it.
Did you catch it on this side?
Can you go a little
Let's watch
further
again.
back?
So again,
Like tiniest bit
right,
out.
right,
Like it makes a
right,
difference.
right. So her thumb goes to close the fader like you would naturally, but then the fader pops open because she put too much pressure, but her record hand is still moving. So technically at that point, you're supposed to hear it as she's getting ready to do the next scratch, but you don't hear anything, you hear silence.
Interesting.
I think it's a lot of sensory overload with this song, especially because it's a
Yeah.
Right, so it
Already
distracts you.
Well,
It
also the way
distracts
she's
you.
moving too.
And the way
You
she's
guys-
moving, it distracts you. Right.
You guys
Right.
missing the other class? Faye, she says her hair is too distracting.
Yeah, she's right.
Hilarious.
All right, so let's watch again, guys. Watch closely. Look. Watch. See how it popped open and she's moving the record back and forth.
Yeah.
You saw it? Everybody saw it?
That was clear.
Very clear. Now, as the video is moving fast, if you're a novice and don't,
Normal.
I did not know you could do that.
Is she in the
I
comments?
just found that out last class. Let's watch it again quick. Let's watch it again quick, guys. Look at her right hand go to the fader. She closes it, it pops open. She's still moving her record hand back and forth. and then she closes it.
You wouldn't notice it until
Yeah,
she
it's so
puts
small.
it back.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
Right.
this much.
Now, let me ask you this, guys. You see this, right? All the fader issue. But then you see the antics. She has this smirk on her face like, yo, I'm dope. I'm the shit. How does that make you feel knowing the struggle that I put you guys through for the last, 9 weeks of the semester? Like, when you watch that, how does that make you feel as students of this art?
cheated.
I think it's trash.
I really don't feel so strongly about it, just because for me it's a purity politics type. Well, I understand totally why this is an art form and that isn't, but I also think for women using their sexuality to get a job or whatever, when they need to do that and get paid is not, it's not cheating people.
I respect what you're saying, Sarah, but I think it's cheating you guys, especially the students that might be considering doing this as a profession after they're done with this class. It's damn sure cheating me. If someone, a promoter, a venue, would lean towards booking her because they saw this video, or lean towards paying her more money than paying me because they saw this video, it is cheating. It is cheating. And the thing about it, guys, is that she actually could scratch and she actually can DJ.
But that's the problem with social media and this whole the whole aspect of everyone has to be perfect the whole time. Everything you produce has to be absolutely flawless. So she clearly has some skill. But
Right.
this is the whole fear of failure thing. We
Exactly. To your
society
point.
makes us feel the need to be foot perfect because we don't accept imperfections anymore.
And this art is anything but perfect.
The
But
other thing too is that she's doing it on a YouTube video, so she could do it live. If she screws up, she could do it again. It doesn't matter. She has
Right.
the skill to do it.
To
It's
get another
doesn't
take.
make fucking sense.
do another take, Ellie.
Yeah, to Alex's point, I feel I actually really don't care whether she uses her appearance or sexuality, because honestly women are sexualized whether we want to or not. So that's not the issue for me. It's more so when I went up and did my midterm, I was shaking. I literally was so nervous that I fucked up and I didn't do as well as I thought that I could have or had kind of worked towards. And so what upsets me about this is that it's this fallacy of not really having to overcome one of the toughest struggles of DJing, which is the performance itself.
Right.
And
Yeah.
being vulnerable with people, honestly. I realized over break that was the thing that scared me the most, and that I was my toughest critic in that room. But my self-doubt was so overcoming that I really couldn't execute it in the way that I wanted to.
Yeah.
And so I feel with this the way that it's cheating is not so much about her appearance or about the fact that she's a woman. It's just about the fact that she's not having to take that extra step.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was well said. It's interesting to me that your experience, you couldn't fake that. See, you're on vinyl. It's you, and we see it and hear it. And DJs like this that would get away with producing this 3-minute video of them sounding perfect would never get away with some shit like that when I was coming up as a DJ, because all we had was vinyl, and that's it. You cannot fake anything like what she's doing on vinyl. If it skips and we know it. Then we got to see you recover. And to me, that's the beauty of this art, is that we as the audience get to see and hear the mistakes and then see you recover and triumph over that mistake. And we're robbed of that when videos like this are posted. I have a student, a female DJ, came to my house for a training session. As soon as she walked in my home studio, pulled her phone out and was like, "Rob, why am I not sounding like this right now?" And it was a video of this girl.
It sets
Lady style.
unrealistic expectations.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, that's not her. That's not her. So don't. It sucks because she was like super down on herself. She's been DJing for super long, and started training with me, and felt like she was behind because she wasn't sounding like this other female DJ. And got like, it's crazy now with the whole popularity of this art. What happens a lot of times is this video. Let's see how many views it got. This video got what, over 233,000 views.
Her most viewed video has 2 million views.
Her most viewed video has 2 million views. So then you have female DJs that are putting in the work, practicing, and don't understand why they don't sound as good as Lady Style in these videos. So just from so many different angles, you wonder why DJs like myself, get fucking, I'm not gonna say angry, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna thrive regardless of a Lady Style or whoever faking it. But it's just disingenuous, and to me, you're cheating the art, and you're cheating the people that enjoy the art. Let's move on. Alright, so this was, I believe, one of the labs. Yeah, this was probably the second lab, I believe. I did a scratch called the Flare, and Rosdeli, who's from the first section, Section A, was hanging out in the lab, scratching with you guys, and you're gonna hear her when I finished doing the scratch. She was like, "What's that?" Alright, so let's just listen to the Flare scratch being executed by yours truly, Brolic Arm. DJ Protein, aka. Alright, check it out. Let's listen to this.
I think that was me actually.
Well, no. Was it you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I remember because you came after me and then you did that and it came out of nowhere and we were saying like just stabs this time.
Right.
But I came up with that.
And I did it. You're like, what's that? So I did it, and it caught your attention.
Yeah.
It caught your attention.
Yeah.
The Flare, guys, is one of the most intricate technical scratches you could do. I very rarely do it. Seldom are you gonna hear me do a Flare scratch in a Q&A, whether it's with you guys or even in public. I personally don't feel that it's a musical scratch, and I like for my scratches to sound lyrical and have like melody to them. So you see me freak more transformers and stabs and chirps. But I remember that day Liv was hanging out with us, as she always does, and she was like, "Rob, you do the same crab scratch like all the time. Like I want to see you do something different." And I felt like I was put on the spot. So I was like, "All right, Liv, I'm gonna show you what else I have in my arsenal of scratches." So I pulled that scratch out, and it was actually fun because I got to hear myself do a scratch that I rarely do, and then you guys even reacted to it. Check this video. Let's actually watch myself do it again, and then we're gonna watch another video. So let's look at my hand movement, listen to how the scratch actually sounds. Okay.
Another effect we have. This is a new effect, and this one is called fader effects. So what this one does is it'll mimic like your fader movement. So you can go like a 1-click, 2-click, 3-click, 4-click. Then you have various ones in the bottom. So what that is. It allows you to get creative. So if you have like a scratch sound loaded up, you can kind of hit. If you want to hold the mic, I'll show you real quick. You can hit one of the fader effects. So
So his hand was up here on the pad, nowhere near the fader.
That shit sounded terrible though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it
yours sounded way
sounds
better.
very
I was like-
Like robotic.
like choppy. Yeah.
So like not even real.
Sounds like a compressed scratch.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like a compressed.
I mean, like, I could
Yeah.
go on a certain context.
Last video.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you know it's wrong.
There's not one cable plugged into it.
Yeah.
It's wireless.
So you just like took it out of the box.
Kane said, say that again, Kane.
It's wireless.
It's wireless?
Yeah, they got the
Bluetooth?
mixer.
Do you see him doing the movements?
This is so cringy.
How much do you think he's like getting
Even if he
paid
had it,
to like
it
act?
it's just cringy.
Yeah, I don't want to watch
This is a colleague.
this.
I'm sorry?
This is a colleague of yours?
No,
Oh.
not him. No, not him. Not him.
Sorry. This is so cringy.
DJ. The DJ's not doing anything though. So here's my thing about this. Someone might be like, all right, but yo, Rob, now you're splitting hairs. Like, they're on a TV show. On TV, you gotta get it right the first time. You know, like Whitney Houston, we all thought that she was singing at the Super Bowl, and then it came out that she actually she lip synced. So whatever, man. Like now you're just being like an old fart, an old geezer, or whatever, right? But here's what I feel about that. Unless you're shooting a commercial or like a movie, you should be, if you're a DJ or a singer or whatever it is that you do, you should be able to perform your talent. That's what you're being booked for, right? So
It's like being an athlete and then not actually like
Having
put
stunt
that in
double.
that same place.
It's like having some random guy
Yeah, it literally
playing
makes no
LeBron
sense,
in a
like-
game.
Right.
Like
Or-
the face, you have your name on the back of the jersey, but it's like you have a little stuff
Right.
double that like comes in.
or Sarah.
I'm just like, I feel like it's kind of a relationship that's forced by capitalism because it's like, I would imagine it's cheaper to book like the fake.
Totally
DJ.
cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of, it's like how these people are operating like within a system that's
Totally,
most
they're
successful
gaming
to
it,
them.
of
Yeah.
course. But here's the thing: before technology, this wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Technology, it comes back to technology because technology, whether it's the laptop or these new fancy mixers, enables the person that is too lazy to fucking learn how to DJ to fake it because you have the technology to do it. You couldn't fake a Jam Master Jay challenge with 2 records and turntables and a mixer. You guys all experienced it. And here's my point to the analogy you guys use with regards to athletes. Let's take basketball, right? If you knew that the basketballs were doctored in some way and they had some sort of gadget where no matter where you shoot it from on the court, it goes in the net, would you watch basketball? Would you be as impressed? The reason you're impressed by Steph Curry when he does those across the court practice fucking shots from like one end of the court to the other is because you know you can't do that. You know that he practiced all his life to be able to stand on one side of the court and fucking lob the ball and in one take get the ball in the net. That's why you love Steph Curry. That's why you watch LeBron. You know that his fucking sneakers aren't doctored and have some kind of crazy shit that helps him explode off the ground and dunk the ball. You know it's his human talent. And I'm not trying to look, business is business. These companies are trying their best to survive and make money, and to Sarah's point, capitalism and all that is the world we live in.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing.
It's
but
a good
Well,
It's a
and
reality.
yeah,
it's right. That's the reality. The reality is these companies are making money. But what kills me, to wrap this conversation up, is that now you have this mixer that a kid could press a button and quote unquote get creative with the flare scratch, when for me the idea that someone recorded that scratch somewhere in some studio and now it's in a sound bank and you could just press a button, there's no creativity in that. The idea that someone can now buy the mixer and within a second press the button and move the record back and forth and get the flare, that shit fucks with me, because it took me like 2 months to learn the flare. And after I learned the flare, I forgot how to transform. And then I had to learn how to transform. So it's like, here I am putting in the work, like a lot of my other contemporaries, and then you have a company that's just fucking, here, buy this piece of equipment and you could do these scratches that the masters, the guys that you look up to, fucking spent weeks, months learning how to do. That just rubs me the wrong way.
That's what gives, like, I guess, that's what a lot of people think DJing isn't as an art as it is. Like, my old band director in high school, he's like, I wouldn't pay to see someone just press a button, like, doing DJ.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of, like, I listened to him for a while until I actually learned from you what DJing really was.
It's like
and that's why people don't know what it is, because it's so saturated with this fake stuff. So
People think DJ is just standing behind decks.
Right.
Like,
Well, people don't know how much the originators have been like exploited in a way.
Yes.
They don't know.
There's like a lack of knowledge, I think, like in public.
Oh man, you're killing it right now, Sarah. You're right. They don't know. There's a lack of knowledge, and that's why I'm here. To fucking tell you guys and explain to you guys what this art form is and how it's being exploited and profited on and appropriated by companies and DJs alike.